Hello guys, today's gonna be my third foray in my How to Play series, and I'm gonna cover Pax Luporum, Werewolf of the Republic by R. Joshua Holland, also known as King Waspinator or Total Party Skill, is his YouTube channel. I'm gonna put the link to the books down below in the description and the link to King Waspinator's YouTube channel. This is the softcover book. The picture you see there is the hardcover. And again, those are not meant to be deep dive. They are not meant to sell you on the game or tell you what the game is about or to make you an expert. I will not also try to make you ready to run the game. Those videos are just to, if you were invited to join a game on short notice, you could watch them and be able to follow along. I will also not cover character creation, as that you can just follow the book or use a pre-gen character. And this is not a review. I'm not gonna comment about the game mechanics or the game design, and I'm not gonna talk about the politics of the author or any drama that they can be involved in. So Pax Luporum is a skill-based system that uses a dice pool, and you're not looking for a success on every dice, but you add the dice together to beat a difficulty number, and then you add the level of your skills to the total of the dice. The difficulty level are referred to as easy, average, hard, very impossible. So you need a 3, 6, a 10, 14, or 18. Attributes are body, mind, and spirit. Humans have attributes that range between 1 and 3, 2 being the average. You play in that game supernatural being, mostly werewolf. So your attribute can go above 3, but for human, that's going to be like the normal range. You have each attribute got 3 basic skill. So for body, it's going to be agility, beauty, and strength. For mind, it's going to be knowledge, perception, and technology. And for spirit, it's going to be charisma, empathy, and focus. And you also have additional skill, combat, or which are used in combat, are usually going to be used with body. You got strange skill that are usually going to be used with mind, and the martial skill give you various bonuses in combat. They're not directly used to make a roll. Special skills are basically like the magic. You use them with spirit, and you can only have one of them. So there's Holy, Unholy, or Psychic. You also have like other stats that are derived from your attribute. The statuses, which are basically your health, sanity, and moral, which are based on your attribute plus 2. So each of the attributes got its own basically hit point pool, if you want. And you have limits, which are encumbrance, your movement in combat, and your movement in overland travel, which are based on the attribute plus 1 skill plus 1. So encumbrance is going to be based on your body plus your strength plus 1. Move in combat is going to be your body plus your agility, again plus 1. And same thing with move travel, body plus strength plus 1. I'm not going to go into detail of how much yard and stuff like that. Check with the DM for that. And encumbrance got basically the number of item you can carry. So if you have like a body of 2 and a strength of 2, you're gonna be able to carry 5 item. Small item count for half an item. Large item count for 2. It's pretty simple. Initiative is a roll by rolling spirit and charisma, and I'm talking about it here because you roll initiative at the start of a session, and you keep the same initiative for the whole session, and it goes from highest to lowest, and so you're basically always on initiative, uh, whether you're in combat or not. In combat, you can only do one action per round, so a round is gonna be everyone on the table is gonna take, or every character involved, I should say, is gonna take an action based on their initiative number. And yeah, it's only one action, so you can attack, you can use an item, you can move, you can do some heavy dialogue, or you can attempt a skill or cast a spell, and it's a or. And I say heavy dialogue here because you can talk in combat, like if you just like saying something quick. But if you want to do a big diatribe, that's going to require a skill roll or something like that. That's going to be your action. And I put asterisk at attack and move because you can do a charge that allow you to move and attack. I'm not going to go into detail of that because that's a little deeper than I want to go with those kind of video. But it is a possibility. Just look in the book for it. You got when you do an attack, you got a bunch of options that you can choose from. So it's not always the same thing. So you got some attack that's gonna target health, some attack is gonna target moral, and some attacks that are gonna target sanity, and you have different options to target the different statuses or the different like hit point pool if you want. That use different skill as well. So you can do like you can use your boxing skill, you can use your melee skill, you can use your charisma, you can use your beauty. There's different way you can do to damage somebody. You also have magic attack, so it's the same idea. You have like different skill depending on the on the magic that you have, if you have any. Because for magic, you can only attempt a magic attack if you have at least 1 point in the skill. The other attack, even if you have a skill of 0, you can attempt them anyway. That means you're just gonna roll your dice based on the attribute. But magic, you need to have at least 1 point. And so there's a lot of variety. You can target like you can hit an opponent on different statuses. Attack difficulty number for attack that target the health of an opponent. The difficulty of the attack is based on the armor the opponent is wearing. So if he's wearing nothing, it's gonna be an easy attack. If he's wearing padded armor, it's gonna be average. If it's plated armor, it's gonna be hard. Enchanted is gonna be very, and force field is gonna be impossible. For melee attack, you add to the difficulty based on the armor, you add the parry skill of the target. And for range attack, you add the dodge skill. So let's say you want to attack with melee, in melee, with a weapon that do health damage, and the target is wearing padded armor, and you got a parry skill of 2, then the padded armor make the difficulty to 6, and the parry skill is going to make the difficulty to 8. So the martial skill, when I was saying you don't roll them per se, they add bonus for combat. That's what I was talking about. This is like parry and dodge or a martial skill. So that's where that's what they come into play here. Magic attack, the difficulty is based on the resist attribute, and there's a little thing to take note here. The attack that targets sanity are resisted with mind, and attack that target moral are resisted with spirit. So it's kind of flip because normally the attribute link to moral is mind and the attribute link to sanity is spirit. But when you resist an attack, a magic attack, there's a little flip that is made there. So there's something to pay attention to. And the difficulty level is going to be based on the score of the attribute, the resist attribute. So if you got like a score of 1, it's going to be a hard test. If you got a score of 2, it's going to be very. Score of 3 impossible. A score of 4 or more is like that. To be honest, I don't really get what he mean in the book. +2 per point. I assume you probably go like impossible, and then for every point you attribute you have above 4, you add 2 to the difficulty level. But that wasn't too clear in the book, to be honest. So look with your GM how he interpret it. Soaking damage. When you receive damage, you can spend your next action on the same round if you haven't played, or on the next round if you've played already, to try to soak some of the damage. If the damage was done to health, you're gonna make a strength test, and the difficulty level is gonna be a hard test, so the difficulty of 10. And if you succeed, you're gonna reduce the damage by 1. If it was damage that was targeting sanity or moral, the test you make is focus. The difficulty again is hard, so 10. And if you succeed, there you avoid the damage completely. You don't just reduce it by one. So again, another thing to pay attention to here. It's like two mechanics that are similar but with a slight difference. Uh, I should have said statuses because like it's health, sanity, and moral. Uh, if your status if are at 3 or more, you're basically considered fresh. You're uninjured. The word they use is optimal. If you when once one of your status reach 2, you're Earth, and that means that all the tests that you made using the linked attribute. So if it's your health, all the tests made with body. If it's your moral, all the tests made with mind, and if it's spirit, all the tests made with if it's sanity, all the tests made with spirit. I have a +1 difficulty, and same thing if you wounded, except now the difficulty is +4. And your movement, both in combat and in travel, is reduced by half. And if one of your status reach 0, you're incapacitated, which means you don't roll anymore for a test, so you can still make complete tests that have a difficulty of easy if your skill is 4 or more, because easy difficulty is 3. So without rolling, if your skill is 4, that's a pass. So you can still achieve those. And you cannot move without assistance. If one of your status is at 0, any other damage to the status put you in a critical condition, and then there's a chance you can die. You have like a certain number of round. There's a roll to make for that. I'm not gonna in the detail for that. Look for your gem with that. So this is about what I wanted to cover with this game. It's a fairly rule light game, so there's not that much to talk about. It's quite a breath of fresh air after like doing the Burning Wheel last time. And I don't know if this is gonna be useful to anyone. I hope you at least found it interesting. I thank you for watching. If you have questions, feel free to ask them down below. If you're familiar with the game and you think that I missed something important, or if I got something wrong, write it down as well, and I pin the comments so others can see it. Have a good day and take care.